How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the old school Q&A summary. No messing about today, let's get straight into the questions. This week's Q&A kicked off with a question about how easy it is for someone who played back in 2007 to get into old school today. Modrock believes that it's easy for someone who stopped playing in 2007 to pick up old school and comfortably jump straight in. Modarchie added that the content you would expect to enjoy when you start playing again is still very much intact, you've just got more to explore at higher levels. Modarchie asked Mod Aiza how the feedback has been so far on the Raids 2 rewards, and he said that while people are generally happy with the concepts for the weapons, some felt that they could be a little bit stronger. There was a blog earlier this week describing a few changes to the proposed items, and today that blog has been updated again with another couple of changes, and all of the changes described in that updated blog have now been applied to the public test world for raids, so make sure you jump in game and give them a shot. A player named Wild made several suggestions to improve the looting bag. He asked if the looting bag could be a guaranteed drop after killing one NPC for players who had completed the Wilderness Hard Diary. And Modash said that he wouldn't mind this, as most people currently get the bag by just grinding out low-level monsters like rats and muggers. He added that it would be possible for each tier of the Wilderness Diary to unlock a better and better drop rate. Another suggestion for the bag was to reduce the cost in the Bounty Hunter shop, and the team all seemed to agree that the current cost was unreasonably high. And the final suggestion was to allow players to obtain multiple looting bags. Modash explained that even if you had multiple looting bags, they would still always display the same items. Modachi added that that would probably be fine with a lot of people because they're most likely just interested in being able to re-gear quicker. Baratho asked if the Doggish Khan city could be improved, as it's a really nice area, but there are very few reasons to spend time there. He suggested an improved bone crossbow which would require level 58 ranged. It would remain one tick faster than other crossbows, and it would be able to use bolts up to mithril. He also suggested a Gourmet Spice Bag that would be equipped in the shield slot and would increase the healing of most food by 1. It would be obtained by giving food to the gourmets in the market. The team didn't really seem too keen on the Spice Bag idea, and Modachi didn't want to see an improved bone crossbow because of how cheap and accessible the existing one is. The team also felt that bringing people to the city for longer periods of time would be desirable, and adding one-off unlocks wouldn't necessarily achieve that. A chat pleb asked if we could get another name release soon. Modash and Mod Archie explained that they are operated by player support and they're very time consuming to do. They're not aware of any plans for another name release anytime soon. Crame asked if defenders could become buyable once you unlock them. And Mod Aiza pretty passionately said, if you want the excellent stats that they offer, you should have to go through the process to get them. And the chat and their no spam definitely seem to agree. Euro asked if we could see the return of the month ahead blogs. Mod Aiza explained that the month ahead blogs create extra pressure to get content out in a stricter time frame. Having more flexibility in the schedule allows development time to be spent where it needs to be, rather than where it must be because of expectations set out in a blog. He added that he doesn't feel like the blogs are as necessary now as they may have once been. Dill asked if the team will be catering towards tanking in Raids 2 or other upcoming updates, and Modarchie gave a bit of a cryptic response just saying Raids 2 will cater to multiple roles, but he left it at that. Dill also asked if the herb sack could be moved out of the Slayer shop to somewhere more related to herb lore, and he suggested the Sorcerer's Garden. Mods Ash and Rock suggested that the Tithe Farm might be a nice place for it to go in addition to the Slayer Point shop. Grow asked why the Abyssal Tentacle has use as the second option rather than check like a number of other degradable weapons. Mod Ash said that with items coming out at vastly different times, inconsistencies like this can happen. Juan asked if the POH dummy could be upgraded to a dragon version to test out the Dragon Hunter crossbow. Modash said that a dummy which could be progressively upgraded to have more and more attributes like undead, dragon or demon is definitely possible. 300 asked why you can't cast Vengeance in a player-owned house. Modash said that this was to prevent a bug where players get kicked from a house and end up taking damage from Vengeance which has been queued on them. He also said that it might now be possible to prevent this bug without entirely disabling the spell. Nuka asked if it could be made possible to clear a patch before it is fully grown, and Modash explained that this feature was removed shortly after the release of farming because of players rapidly planting and digging up trees for huge amounts of experience. Grand asked if members could be allowed to showcase their pets in free-to-play. He argued that this would tease the noobs into buying membership. Modash spoke about the distinction between free-to-play as a game in itself and free-to-play as an advertisement or a demo. He doesn't see the need to push free players too hard to become members, as quite a lot of them do already. Mod Aiza said that it was the Tavily Gate which eventually convinced him to upgrade from free-to-play to members. So wholesome. Unfortunately, he did then admit to stealing money from his parents by sneakily buying membership using the house phone. Red asked if Zamorak grapes in Tithe Farm could be buffed to compete with the Cowfight Queen.
Yes.
Carp asked if the weight of the angler's outfit could be lowered from the rather heavy 34 kilograms. The team seemed in favour, with Modrock suggesting that it could be taken down to as little as 10% of its current weight. He added that it's a really trivial and easy change to make. Let's break up the questions a bit with Modghost's progress on the Maiden from Raids 2. During the stream, he showed off the various stages of the Maiden, as well as the death animation which he'd spent the day making on livestream. I for one think that this looks flippin' amazing. Great work, Modghost. Tex asked if members' items could be excluded from counting towards free-to-play bank space. Modash said that he's not sure whether or not an engine update would be required to achieve this, so he doesn't want to make any promises, but he does feel like it's a nice change to have. Francis asked if the buy limit of Numelites could be increased from 18,000 to 25,000, so that it would match the amount needed to charge the Wyvern Shield. Modash said that as long as the supply is enough to meet the demand with the increased limit, he'd be happy to see that changed. They also asked if the robes worn by the NPCs in the Myths Guild could be added as a cosmetic set. And Modwest said that the robes and weapons used by those NPCs were partly there to test the waters and see if there's any interest from the community. He would be happy to see them added as usable equipment at some point. A player asked for the team's thoughts on being able to add the Bone Crusher to the Dragon Bone necklace. Modaiza said that this was considered but eventually dismissed due to a number of concerns. However, he is willing to revisit the idea if there's enough community support. Francis asked if Probita could keep a log of pet drops, including when you get multiple drops of the same pet, and asked if it would be possible to also show the experience or kill count on which you received the pet. Modash said that this is possible, but that information isn't currently being tracked. They could start tracking it and display it somewhere, but it will not be able to show data from before the release of that feature. Secret asked if a higher tier lectern could be added, allowing for the creation of both teleport tabs and Bones to Peaches tabs. Modash said that since his rewrite of construction, that would be possible, and the chat voted 93% yes in the straw poll. A chat pleb asked when free-to-play PvP worlds would be released, as they passed the recent PvP quality of life poll. Modaiza said that the wait for this world is because they're going to be adding it as a brand new free-to-play world, rather than taking over one of the existing free-to-play worlds. Modash said that the sysadmin team have been working on additional hosting to allow for more worlds, not just for the free-to-play PvP one, but also in preparation for the release of Old School Mobile. Any new worlds would still be in the same locations as existing worlds, there would just be more of them. He said that there's still engine work to be done, and it isn't yet comfortable providing an ETA. Bertho asked if deadly red spiders could drop red spiders eggs. There was a bit of a discussion regarding PVM dropping more resources, but overall the team seems quite indifferent to the idea. Grand asked if manually enabled prayers could remain active when you enable or disable quick prayers. Modash said that this was once developed, but it was never launched. And no one on the stream seemed particularly keen on the idea. At this point, the questions ended and the team discussed the content of the recent Deadman blogs, which explained the changes to the upcoming season. I'm not going to be going over everything discussed here as I'd just be reading out the dev blog. I will, however, go over Modarchie's clarifications on muling. He specified that an account is considered a mule when the account is not playing Deadman to actually play the game mode, but rather to simply store wealth. If someone makes a bunch of money and they get scared about losing it, so they chuck it on a low-level account, not used for anything else, that's a mule. You're still free to play on alt accounts as long as you are actually playing the game. He also added that clan banks will be classified as mules. He said that they're going to be using a common sense approach and each situation will be handled on a case-by-case basis. And that is pretty much it for this week's Q&A summary. And a quick heads up, the Deadman event is taking place this Saturday at 7:30 PM GMT. Be sure to tune in, it should be good fun. You'll be able to find it on Old School RS on Twitch. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoyed and I will see you next time.